What if I told you that one of the greatest athletes in history spent decades hiding who she truly was behind the scenes, while the whole world only saw the version of her that won trophies? That is the real story of Steffi Graf, and it is far more emotional than most people realize. Stay with me until the end, because the truth about her private struggles will completely change how you see her career. From a very young age, Steffi's life was shaped by someone else's vision for her future. Her father noticed her talent early, and he devoted almost everything to developing it. Tennis quickly became the center of her entire world. While other kids spent their time playing, making friends, and enjoying a normal childhood, her days were filled with intense training, strict discipline, and constant performance pressure. The tennis court became her classroom and her workplace, all rolled into one. Every session came with expectations. Every mistake felt like it mattered more than it should have for a child her age. As the years went on, tennis stopped being something she simply enjoyed and became something she felt responsible for. The pressure did not always come through loud words or harsh criticism. Often, it came through silence, through expectations that never even needed to be said out loud. Success became the way she earned approval, and winning became the measure of her worth. To the outside world, she looked unstoppable. She was winning tournament after tournament, becoming one of the most dominant players the sport had ever seen. But behind that success, she was carrying a weight that very few people could fully understand. Then came a moment that turned her private life into public headlines. Her father, the man who had shaped her entire career, became the center of a major scandal that exposed deeply personal family matters to the entire world. Reporters dug into every detail. People speculated endlessly. For someone who had spent her whole life trying to protect her privacy, this was incredibly difficult to go through. It forced her to face a painful truth. The foundation she had built her whole life around was no longer steady, and for the first time, she had to start figuring out who she really was without the structure that had guided her since she was a little girl. Even while dealing with all of this privately, she kept competing at the highest level in public. But something inside her was quietly shifting. Questions she had avoided for years could no longer be pushed aside. This period became a turning point in her life, one that would eventually lead her towards something she had never truly experienced before: real connection with another person who understood her world. That is when Andre Agassi became an important part of her story. He understood fame. He understood pressure. He understood what it felt like to live under constant public attention. Their bond grew slowly and naturally, and what made it different from anything before was not fame or success. It was genuine understanding. For maybe the first time in her life, she felt seen as a real person, not as a champion or a symbol of victory. This relationship gave her something she had been missing for a long time: the freedom to be honest, the freedom to be imperfect, and the freedom to simply exist without constantly having to prove herself. Eventually, she made the decision to walk away from professional tennis completely. She stepped into a much quieter chapter of her life. She became a mother. She focused on family, charity work, and causes close to her heart. Unlike many athletes who struggle to leave the spotlight behind, she seemed genuinely at peace stepping away from it. For years, public recognition had defined so much of her identity, but now she found meaning in much simpler things: connection, family, and the everyday moments she had missed while chasing greatness. Her achievements on the court remain incredible. She won an astonishing number of major titles, spent hundreds of weeks as the top-ranked player in the world, and accomplished something in tennis that almost no one else ever has. But her real story is about so much more than trophies and records. It is about a girl who was shaped by someone else's dreams, who quietly carried enormous pressure, and who eventually found the courage to build a life that finally felt like her own. Steffi Graf's journey reminds us that even the people who look the strongest on the outside are often fighting battles nobody else can see. True strength is not just about winning, it is about finding yourself again after everything you thought you knew has changed. If this story touched you, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps this channel grow. Tell us in the comments what part of her story surprised you the most. And if you enjoy powerful true stories like this one, make sure you subscribe so you never miss the next video. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.